Hello, and welcome to Bitesized Podcast. I'm your host, Andali. Bitesized Podcast is a holistic nutrition podcast for pregnancy, postpartum, and baby starting solids to further educate you on all of the options available to support you on this journey. Welcome back to another episode for our postpartum hot moms. We are continuing our booby talks and talking about milk supply. Last week we talked about the magic of breast milk, and today we're getting into your supply. Particularly today we're going to be talking about increasing your milk supply. Dr. Jack Newman, who is Canada's foremost breastfeeding expert, said this: "Many women seem not to produce enough milk, but could produce enough if they were given the help and support they need." While I'm not a lactation consultant, there are some nutritional aspects we can talk about, but first I want to absolutely rave about lactation consultants. Every person I know that's ever worked with one has nothing but good things to say and absolutely loved working with them. Lactation consultants can help you with so much, from latch and tongue ties to just being the encouragement you might need to persevere and relax. So if you're struggling with anything breastfeeding related, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to a lactation consultant or even have someone in mind before you get to that point in case you need it. So let's get into it from a nutritional perspective, but first some basics. In the first 6 weeks postpartum, it's absolutely normal for your breast to feel larger and heavier as your supply is regulating. Once it starts to regulate, it's common to feel less engorged and leak less breast milk. This shouldn't be cause for concern, but rather a clue that your body is adapting to supply and demand. Here are some non-nutrition ways to increase your supply if you are finding your supply is low. Our first suggestion is to offer your breast for your baby to suckle. Spending time with your baby and offering their breast will help to stimulate the production and release of breast milk. This is my primary recommendation, and while it can sound intensive, being in bed, essentially naked, spending time with your baby, and offering full access is my primary recommendation. Put those chores on hold and set up some play dates for your older kids and just lay in bed all day. If full access is mentally exhausting for you or seems daunting, skin to skin and baby wearing are also great options. When you do skin to skin, it increases the release of oxytocin, which is important for milk production. It's also been shown that skin to skin significantly reduces a baby's cortisol levels and reduces a mother's anxiety. When you and your baby's stress levels are lowered, it can lead to more synchronicity and responsiveness, which are optimal for breastfeeding success. Get ready for a controversial one: co-sleeping. Even if co-sleeping isn't something you want to do every night, doing it for shorter periods like naps might be an option. This contact helps release, you guessed it, oxytocin, which helps increase supply. Co-sleeping also provides opportunities for the baby to suckle during that period to further stimulate production. Pumping can also increase supply, but it is most effective when used in addition to regular breastfeeding to remove more milk, according to the demand and supply of lactation. Hospital-grade pumps are most effective, but use whatever works for you. Now getting into some foods to help increase supply. Lactogenic foods and herbs, also known as galactagogues, can be helpful in increasing supply, but it's also important to figure out the root cause of why your supply could be low. I'm going to list lactogenic foods, but you can also download my free list of lactogenic foods, which you can find on my website and in the description below. So here they are: almonds, apricots, asparagus, barley, beets, brown rice, carrots, carrot seeds, coconut water, dandelion greens, garlic, ginger, green beans, green papaya, millet, oatmeal, peas, sesame seeds, sweet potatoes, water, and watercress. Herbs that are lactogenic also include alfalfa, anise, blessed thistle, fennel, fenugreek, goat's rue, hops, nettle, red raspberry leaf tea, shapbari, and turmeric. Obviously, that's a long list and I can't expect you to write it down, so again, be sure to get the free list at my description, website, wherever. Click the link on Instagram. Herbs can be beneficial in helping boost supply, which is why I'm sharing about them. But as with all we consume in pregnancy and when breastfeeding, it's important to notice how your baby responds to these foods as well. While these herbs can help increase supply for some, it may not increase supply for everyone. It totally depends on your body, other things you're consuming, and so on. It is also important to be mindful about any advice you might have received when it comes to any medications you're on. Quick side note: if you do consume fenugreek, it can cause a maple syrup-like smell to come from you. This is normal. It's not necessarily unpleasant, but it can be alarming if you're not expecting it. Breastfeeding superfoods are barley grass, spirulina, brewer's yeast, and moringa. These supplements can increase milk supply as well as the nutrient density of breast milk. Now on to water. We've talked about it before, about how important water is, and I'm sure we're all tired of hearing it, but water truly is amazing for the body. We've discussed how water needs increase postpartum. If you want to hear more about that, you can always listen to episode 22, all about the importance of postpartum hydration. With each time you nurse, you should aim to consume about a cup of water. Try carrying around a large water bottle or leave multiple around your home so water is always within reach. If water's not your favorite, then infuse with fruit or herbs or cool some tea to sip throughout the day. Some other ways to ensure hydration is by consuming hydrating fruit and vegetables, reducing processed foods that are high in sodium, and watching your caffeine consumption, as it is a diuretic, which reduces the water available for breast milk. So to summarize, breast availability will help increase the demand for milk and hopefully increase supply. You can do this by co-sleeping, skin to skin, or pumping and allowing your baby to suckle. There are lactogenic foods which can also stimulate supply. To see a full list of these foods and herbs, download the freebie from my website. Consuming enough water or hydrating liquids will help increase your supply, so drink plenty of water and non-caffeinated teas. I hope you enjoyed this episode, but before you go, I've got some special treats for you. Don't forget about all of my discount codes. Whether you are on the journey to conceive, pregnant, or starting solids with your baby, I've partnered with some amazing companies to save you money and support you on this journey. Needed for all of your supplement needs, whether you're trying to conceive or half cooked, they've got you and your partner covered. From prenatals to collagen powder. You can use my code Bitesized for 20% off. OVRY for ovulation strips, pregnancy tests, and male fertility test needs. Whether you're trying to get pregnant or avoid it, these are good for you and the environment. Bitesized 10 is your discount code for 10% off. And finally, be sure to check out Raising Humans Co. for all your silicone tableware needs. Use my code Bitesized for 10% off by shopping at the link in my description. Don't forget to find us on Instagram at bitesized.podcast. We're also on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in today, friends. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And in case no one has told you today, you look radishing. Bye. Although I am a certified holistic nutrition consultant, I am not your consultant. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes and is not always specific to you and your needs. While I strive to provide you with the most up-to-date and accurate information about nutrition, this is not a substitute for professional medical advice, and you should not rely solely on the information herein. Also, if you want to check out any of the studies from where I got my information, be sure to check the description.